Okay, evening everyone. I'm going to get started now. I think it's the right time, and I'll try and keep to the to about 15 minutes, which gives you a chance to ask some questions at the end, if you'd like to. Just to let you know that I'm recording this presentation just so that can be uploaded onto the school website in case anybody wasn't able to join us sort of live, as it were. So my name is Mrs. Hill. I'm Head of English here at St Ambrose. Welcome to this online presentation. It's very strange to be doing it like this rather than sort of doing it face to face. Please use the chat if you'd like to ask any questions. Alternatively, I'm happy to answer any questions if the boys want to come and see me, or they can have a chat with their English teacher, or if you want to drop me an email or have a call or whatever. So please just kind of let me know if there's anything you feel that I haven't covered this evening. The other thing to let you know is that I'm talking about English literature this evening, but my colleague, Mr. Rushton, is doing a presentation on English language at A level. So please, if you are interested in that, if your son is sort of wavering, not sure whether to go with English language or English literature, or is thinking of possibly doing both, that is an option. We have boys currently in the sixth form who do both language and literature, and they sort of enjoy the two subjects are really very different, and very different, I guess, from GCSE as well. So I'll start by sort of giving you, I suppose, something to think about in terms of why you or your son might choose English literature at A level. You know, the first bullet point there, reading widely, is a really obvious one, but it never ceases to amaze me when boys who aren't particularly keen readers opt to take English literature at A level. I think that, you know, it makes life very difficult for them if they don't enjoy reading and they aren't keen to sort of read widely and read beyond the syllabus. A level is a great opportunity to find out a little bit more about, you know, what you're interested in, whether that's different genre of literature, whether it's literature from different kind of time periods, different literary movements. I think it gives the confidence to try new things and to push yourself. Hopefully you are someone who's interested in making up your own mind about the text, not waiting to be told by the teacher, well, what this means is, and what Shakespeare is saying here is this, or what, you know, Owen Shears is trying to say to us is this. You know, perhaps to kind of encourage that, you know, we do have lots of discussion in class, at its best, lively debate, and we find that is a really important way of helping boys to kind of shape their thinking and to construct kind of reasoned argument. The spec that we study is AQA Spec A, and that sort of the main focus of that is to look at literature through the lens of historicism, so to look at texts in their context, something that the boys are familiar with from GCSE, but it takes on much greater weight at A level. For that reason, English literature goes really well with history at A level. Quite a few of our boys study both of those subjects. And the other thing I would point out is that, you know, sort of it's not an easy option. You know, it is an intellectual challenge. Hopefully it's an enjoyable and a rewarding one, but it's not an easy option. So I just mentioned that we do the AQA Spec A. There are two written exams. You can see that they're fairly lengthy. The first is 3 hours, the second is 2 hours and 30 minutes. Together they make up 80% of the final A-level grade. I'll talk in a little bit more detail about some of the texts in a moment, focusing on paper 2, because that's what we kick off with in year 12. But you can see there that with the exception of Othello, and of course the unseen texts, The other text, the other literature set texts, are the students can take their copies of, or a copy, a clean copy of the text into the exam, and that's a significant difference from GCSE, obviously. The other 20% is the independent study, the NEA, the non-examined assessment, which is essentially coursework as was. That's worth the remaining 20%, and it's it's really only a kind of extended essay. It's only 2,500 words, which sort of sounds like a lot, but actually by the time the boys come to write that, usually it's more of a problem to reduce it to 2,500 than to sort of get it up to the word count. So year 12, we changed things around a little bit this year, and we started with paper 2. We started with the sort of modern times paper rather than Love Through the Ages, which we traditionally started with, kicking off with Othello, because we've found that actually studying texts from this period really engages the boys. I think some of the themes that we study, conflict, hope, or disillusionment, power, gender, race, dysfunctional relationships, sort of these sorts of themes seem to resonate with them, and they really enjoy the opportunity to study some American literature as well. So we start with an introductory unit where we look at a range of prose extracts, a chance to sort of refine some of their analytical skills, or to kind of consolidate those from GCSE, and also to give them a bit of an introduction to that kind of period and the literary context as well. And then we move on. One teacher takes Skirrid Hill. We teach both language and literature in pairs. So we divide the course up, the teaching of the course, between pairs of teachers. So in this case, one would take Skirrid Hill, a collection of modern poetry, which the boys really enjoy, sort of themes of, it's kind of relationships between men and women, masculinity. They do really enjoy that. And then the other teacher takes Revolutionary Road and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, both American texts, both sort of modern-ish, I suppose, by comparison with some of the older texts. But again, sort of, the boys do seem to enjoy those texts. The NEA, that's just a little bit more information about that. Comparative essay, 2,500 words. At the moment, we study Heart of Darkness together, and the boys have the opportunity to choose a second text. And that's really an opportunity to kind of read widely, to pursue their own interests. And it's a really good preparation for university, because they have to be more independent. As I mentioned, GCSE and A-level are really quite different, although, sort of there is an element of shared reading at GCSE. There's much more opportunity to kind of pursue a leisurely approach to that at A-level. We're encouraging students to think for themselves, to be active readers, to construct their own readings of meaning, rather than trying to reconstruct what the writer intended. Independent wider reading is kind of expected, and discussion often brings in what the students are reading outside of the curriculum. Essay writing skills, we find that boys can struggle with a sort of really clear and convincing line of argument, so that's something we tackle really early on, and obviously that's enormously beneficial for other subjects, and obviously university beyond that. With less focus on annotation. A host of extracurricular opportunities there, reading group, as well as the upper school reading group here at St Ambrose. We are part of a local grammar school reading group, and we meet once a term, which is a great opportunity for the boys to sort of engage in some really quite quite high level discussion of text beyond the curriculum, which is great. Creative writing, debating society is very popular, but we also want boys to get involved in mentoring lower school students, particularly where there are issues with reading or literacy. And now that lockdown's over, we will look to resume our theatre and cinema trips. Students go on to study a whole range of subjects. Obviously, the skills that are developed at A level equip them for undergraduate study, but they're also transferable in terms of the world of work. Students enjoy English literature. They appreciate the discussion elements you can see there. They like that sort of range, that breadth of literature. And they enjoy talking about their reading. Right, I've had to whiz through there at the end, so if you have any questions now, please feel free to pop them in the chat. Alternatively, I'm happy to speak to you, or boys, if you're listening as well, just speak to me or to your English teacher, or you can email me at the email address there. Okay, thank you ever so much for your time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to stay on and answer any questions. Thank you.